Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well today. So, can we lose weight without dieting and exercising? I believe yes, we can. Now, hold on, I'm not saying that we shouldn't eat right or we should go all out on junk, we shouldn't exercise, and so on and so forth. What I'm saying is that just diet and exercise is not the solution for people who have been struggling with excess weight for a long time, who have a very complicated relationship with food. I am also not talking about those people who are a completely different demographic, people who are athletes, professional fitness models, bodybuilders, and all of them. For them, fitness, health, exercise, and diet have a completely different connotation. I am talking about normal day-to-day people who have been just struggling with carrying all of this excess weight around them. They have failed at hundreds of diets, they start exercising, lose the weight, and yet they stop it, they get injured, they gain all the weight back. It's just such a vicious cycle, and I'm not surprised that almost a lot of people that I know, they just give up. And it's understandable because you'd rather be overweight, okay, eat what you want, and not go through the entire process of disappointment, of despair, of failing. Because to continue, you need to be hopeful, you need to have small successes. But if you keep failing at something, sooner or later, there's this hopelessness, there's this despair that sets in. And people give up. Also, what is considered successful weight loss? Successful weight loss is when you are able to lose your excess weight and keep it off for at least 5 years. But the sad reality is most people are not able to do that. They lose the weight, they keep it off for some time, and then they are back at it. Sometimes even gaining more. And even leaving diet and exercise aside, let's talk about cosmetic, let's say, measures. We have pills, we have injections, we have cosmetic procedures for weight loss. And yet we have so many hundreds and thousands and millions of people walking around carrying all of this excess weight, struggling with it and its impact on their daily life every single day. The reason is because nobody wants to talk about the real reason, what pushes people to go for that junk, what pushes people to eat that much, what pushes people to not exercise when they know that's what they should be doing. And there is no amount of shame, there is no amount of guilt, there is no amount of judgment, there is no amount of humiliation that is going to get people to change. Until and unless we acknowledge the power and the purpose food and being sedentary has for us, the solution won't happen. So people dismiss people who eat too much and who don't exercise as weak, as indisciplined, lazy, not motivated enough, stupid, have no control over themselves, without understanding or taking the time to explore why is this person eating, or without even thinking that food is very important to us. And I'm not even talking about a lot of other things that impact, like your gut biome, the serotonin levels, the dopamine chains, the nerve endings that you have in your gut versus in your brain, and all of those things. They are right in their place. The main thing is people resort to food to relieve some kind of emotional pain that they are going through. Because one, opiates, narcotics, and alcohol are generally looked down upon way more than food. It's much more socially acceptable to be a glutton, to be fat, to be obese than it is to be a crackhead or an alcoholic. People shame you less if you're fat than if you're a heroin addict. And also, it is so much easily available. Food is available everywhere. Also, these habits, these soothing techniques, these soothing mechanisms are often set in place both physically and neurologically in childhood. So, when stressors arise, when we get triggered, we resort to what has always worked for us. In fact, people use food to numb the pain that they have been trying to repress for years. I know people, I personally know people, they have had access to prepared healthy meals from outside. They have had access to some commercial measures to lose weight. They have a gym in their house. They are financially affluent enough to have a trainer come to their house and help them work out 2 or 3 times a day. And yet, they just let go of everything and they will go and eat. So, it is important that instead of looking at diet and exercise as something to be pushed and to be forced upon people, we should start on the other side, trying to acknowledge that how important food has become for someone who is overweight, who is obese. So much so that they are sacrificing their health, their relationships, their career, their life, their dreams in favor of it. We need to understand that nobody starts out thinking, I am going to eat a lot and I am going to become fat so everybody around can shame me, everybody around can disrespect me, and everybody around can demean me, can look at me with contempt and judge me. Nobody starts out like that. Everybody wants to look good, feel good, and having excessive amount of weight really takes it away from you. There is loss of agency. You are alone. So, the real reason is whatever it is that you're trying to repress, whatever it is, the pain, the trauma, the wound that you're trying to heal with food, until and unless you start looking at it, until and unless you look at it with kindness, with curiosity, why is it that I'm eating? Don't shame yourself for eating. Don't be angry and upset. Everybody around you is already doing that. Don't add yourself to that list. You have to be always on your side. So if you are the one who's struggling with a very, very unhealthy relationship with food, someone who doesn't feel motivated enough to exercise, who is overwhelmed by the weight, who struggles with feeling of shame, of self-loathing, one, you're not alone. A lot of people go through it. Okay, and 2, the first step is to be on the same page, to be on your side. It's okay. I am not going to shame myself, I am not going to judge myself, I am not going to criticize myself, I am not going to disrespect myself. Yes, I have a problem with food, I have a problem with weight, but it is possible to get healthy. The moment you start looking at the reasons, how food has helped you deal with difficult situations, difficult people, how has food helped you cope with emotions that maybe you did not allow yourself to feel, that is the moment it will really start to set in. That is the moment you start to heal. And once you start working on the inside, you start slowly healing on the inside, then diet and exercise just become tools. They become something that you can use to get healthier, not something that you punish yourself with for being overweight, which is what most of us do. Been there, done that. In fact, personally, like I've told you before, I've tried a hell lot of diets, made mistakes, overtrained. In fact, overtrained to an extent where I couldn't sleep because my body was tired and exhausted, but it was so exhausted I couldn't sleep. And keeping in mind the kind of relationship I had with food, I had to exercise so as not to gain weight, as I was a personal trainer. I've been in the field of fitness, so I can't afford to gain weight. So it's this vicious cycle. Your food, your emotions, your reasons for eating, and then over exercising. But the moment I started realizing that there are things that I have not dealt with, there are things that I have repressed, there are things very, very unpleasant, unsavory, and let us say difficult incidents, difficult people, difficult relationships that I really need to sit and process. My relationship with food got better. I no longer have to excessively exercise to lose weight. My weight has been stable for more than a year, actually much more than that, probably close to 2 years. And I'm not saying it's all rosy. I do have days when I fumble a bit, when I slip up, when let us say the disordered way of eating starts to act up a bit, but it's fine. I'm going to have such days, but more often than not, I have very, very good days. I eat well, and also I exercise now to feel good about myself, to keep myself mentally at a good place, and also to see what I need in the moment. I don't have to excessively do cardio or do this or do that to maintain my weight or anything like that. So that is what I would like to suggest, that you just think about it and try it out. You don't have to take my word for it. All you need to do is try it and see. In the beginning, it's pretty difficult because most of us spend a lifetime trying to repress, trying to run from things that are difficult, from things that are painful. And the moment you do decide to kind of face them, it's going to be difficult. But all I can tell you is the moment that you do, things start to fall into place. So I hope you found this video interesting, and it's just a different perspective. I hope I made you think, and thank you so much for watching.